Doc, I'm sorry, not Doc. Kenoshi, please don't play Splatoon the entire time because, look, Splatoon isn't going anywhere for an hour and a half. Trust me, because I'm not playing it right now, even though I really want to. But with that being said, it's time for another BS Busters. We're back to the normal BS Busters that we always do. And but before we get started, everyone introduce yourself, starting with the lady in the room.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I am Jewel Rider Eli Moonstar, the gaming mage.
All right. And next, the man who hasn't been here for a while, but he really likes Kirby. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. I'm wonderful, and I have an air conditioner in my room now, so I'm a happy camper. I have a mini fridge.
you lucky W.
Beware spies.
And last but not least, the man who. Last but not least, the man who really likes Metroid. Kenoshi, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Kenoshi Abominito, and I will not be drinking orange juice this cast.
You know, orange juice is good, especially if you mix it with some gin. Maybe a little bit of sparkling water. It's really delicious. But that's
Sorry, you reminded me of a song.
Gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Sorry. But anyway,
I think we were talking about voice chat before we started this round.
Yeah, and why don't we just keep on going? So basically, the first topic of this podcast is about Nintendo Switch's online chat, which some people have been bitching about, saying that it's not what they want it to be, blah, 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 blah.
It'll ruin Nintendo. Boy, oh boy, dude.
Personally,
this laundry list.
If I could start, personally, I think.
We were spraying that stuff. You had it all over the counter, all over the stove.
Personally, I think it's a stronger step forward for Nintendo than most people think.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And I mean, like I said, it's not perfect, but then again, there is no online voice chat that is perfect at all. Period.
Makes me wonder. Some people even think that Nintendo has to do everything right, that everyone has, and only that way.
Well, I mean, like I just said, there is no perfect online voice chat, except for maybe PC, and that's because PC just gives you such a wide variety of options that, I mean, that's the only, you can tweak it to what works for you, but even then, that's not perfect because you have to tweak it. Xbox Live is mediocre. PSN is mediocre.
If you have access to Discord, why use literally anything else other than maybe it has some integration with the game you're playing?
But even Discord isn't exactly perfect. I mean, like every voice chat, online voice chat is not what I would call, oh my God, this is perfect. This is. I mean, the closest you're going to get is what you get on PC with like maybe Google or Discord or the myriad of other ones that they have. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is that all of those have their own issues. You can tweak the thing that gives PC the edge is that you can tweak the shit out of PC in order to what works for you, right? But I mean, it's different for like the fact that you have to do all of that fiddling around to tweak it to what works for you keeps it from being perfect. You know, I mean, like voice chat as it is right now is just, you know, you get it done. I mean, Nintendo's online voice chat gets the job done. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. And if you don't like it, well, you know, that's okay. There are legit things that I don't like about the voice chat. Like, it would be great if when you create a lobby, if you could like schedule it. Like, okay, you know, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have an hour open on Thursday between 7 and 8. So you're like, okay, you send it out to your to like 7 friends. You're like, okay, Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna have a lobby for Splatoon 2. We're gonna be doing Turf Wars and Salmon Run. Who's in? You know, stuff like that. Like they don't.
It's also hard to decline an invitation because it's either a yes, I do want to play, or a no, fuck you, leave me alone. And like you can't say no, not right now, but in like 5 minutes I can play or something like that.
You can't say, okay, I can't make it right now. Like either you don't show up or you do show up. You can't say, you know, look, I can't, I'm in the middle of traffic right now, because someone sent me an invite today. Like 3 people have sent me invites to lobbies. 3, I've been invited 3 times, twice by the same person, once by Shadow Fox. And I mean, it's like, I wish I could go, but I've been busy, you know, I'm kind of in the, you know, like one time I was in the middle of the road running errands. Like I was literally getting my car washed, you know, picking up some ketchup and water because it was on sale. I mean, like I was taking care of business, or business as they like to say. And I mean, you know.
Well, if anything, at least you know that you're kind of busy.
I mean, there should be a way to say, look, you know, I wish I could, but I'm doing something. But I mean, like I said, it's in its beta. It's a beta form right now.
It would be fantastic if this thing had some sort of like messaging system, or like how Discord is on the mobile version of it. If they were like official forums. Actually, that's a terrible idea. Nintendo, don't make official forums. Don't make the same mistake everyone else did. But yeah, a messaging system.
I was about to say, was it Miiverse?
Yeah.
Personally, I liked Miiverse. Like, as the online voice chat is now, I prefer Miiverse over the online voice chat.
I agree.
I know some people are going to be like, no, I want to be able to talk to my friends, but I can talk to my friends without like going through this. It seems a little too restrictive as it is right now. Now, I know it's in its beta stage and there's a lot of, you know, stuff going on, but you know, me personally, I just think Miiverse would have been better. But that's just me, because I'm that guy. Like I like Miiverse over because Miiverse was moderated.
Yeah.
And like I know people are gonna be, I don't need Nintendo holding my hand. Look, I don't really give a shit about Nintendo holding someone's hand. I just like the fact there being something where people just can't do anything willy-nilly with impunity.
In short, you ever have lawlessness?
Like I personally don't want to go on an online thing and have people like, I don't like going online and hearing like 12, 13-year-old kids talk about how they're gonna do sexual things to my mother. It's like, first of all, you're 12, 13 years old. You know nothing about sex, period. First of all, let's get that out the way. Second of all, I don't appreciate you, you know, or how certain things in forums, I don't want to go to a forum and go to the Splatoon forum and see pictures of genitals and boobs. I don't, you know.
We don't need a swap note mishap.
I don't need that. You know, or, you know, people saying racist slurs. I don't need that. But, you know, that's
we don't need a swamp note. And it's anything, it's good to have regulations and you're unlike other people looking at you, Microsoft.
People get mad when you say, I like regulations.
I think one of the weird things about the voice chat right now is that realistically, only 3 Nintendo games would actually use it. Like, fully. That being Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2,
which doesn't need voice chat,
and Splatoon 2 and ARMS. Well, technically, none of these need voice chat, but I'm just thinking about online-centric games because Nintendo doesn't make many online-centric games.
Exactly.
Pokemon could also be integrated with this, which is a big one, but you know.
Yeah, sort of.
Oh, yeah,
That's in the air.
Pokken as well could also be implemented with this.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Pokken could do it. But, I mean, you get what I'm saying. It's like none of these games are like, man, if this game doesn't have voice chat. I mean, like, people want voice chat because in their head, it's cool to talk to your friends while playing the game, and I get it. But in reality, it's not as cool as you think it is in your head. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and people don't.
Personally, I like the extra layer that you have to do for like inviting friends and such. Because I did like voice chat with some randoms in Salmon Run, and it was like perfectly fine and civil. It was really fun. I think that like extra layer of like confirmation weeds out a lot of bad voices.
Yeah. But I could be wrong. You know, I'm just some jerk. Jerk.
It helps that you can't talk to someone on the opposing team.
Yeah. I mean, there's some legit, like, okay, I wish that you could create your own team. Now, what I mean by your own team, I mean literally instead of having to do, like, if you do a lobby, it has to be like you and 7 other people. It should be, they should let people, basically, it should average out the levels. I mean, the rankings of, if you're doing a ranked battle versus a turf war, it should average out the levels, and then you face a similarly level team to average it out. Like, that's how it should. Like, I mean, I shouldn't have to, like, well, you know, I got 8 people, and I might be able to team up with someone like whose our abilities complement each other versus someone else. Like, I don't, you know. But maybe that would break the game too much. You know what I'm saying?
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun if you could have like 8 players and just have people constantly swapping teams. Because it'd be something close to couch play, like local multiplayer, but in like an online format.
Yeah.
Just have these big rooms, or maybe the app can't handle that. I don't know.
I think it could handle it. I just don't think they really care. I mean, I think they care, but you get what I'm saying. Like, they just, you know.
Who knows what they're thinking, what they're doing? It's still super early. The Switch is still super early. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, and there's other online functions that need to be used right now. Like,
I would like an internet browser.
Yeah.
I need it. It'd be very useful.
I would like an internet browser. I would like for Netflix, Hulu. I wish they'd bring back the virtual console. I know people are like, I don't want the virtual console. F you. I like the virtual console.
I think they'll bring it. I think they'll bring it back. Hopefully you can like integrate the stuff you bought on the Wii U and stuff like that.
Yeah, because the virtual console is awesome, and I mean, you know, and look, it doesn't, like, the virtual console doesn't, like, the library thing sounds cool, but I would personally prefer if you could download the stuff that you have and play it, because that would be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe expand on the virtual console.
Because then you can still technically own it, especially if you have like an external memory card or something like that.
Yeah, I would like that, but I mean, this is Nintendo, and they're weird like that. So, with that being said, anyone else have any real legitimate concerns with the online voice chat versus, you know, just people bitching about stuff because they can? Because that's what a lot of people do these days.
Oh, there was stuff talked about in Shadow Fox's new video, where he talked about like the one legitimate complaint Unokio had.
Unokio. I'm gonna start calling him Pinocchio, because except when he lies, instead of his nose getting bigger, it's just his ears.
But well, you know, it's the fact that it's kind of a battery drainer. And at least another more legitimate complaint, in my opinion, is the fact that you can't have it running in the background while doing other stuff on the phone.
Yeah.
But other than that, again, I think it's a stronger start than people actually consider. Having this sort of separate application that Nintendo can just put like a bunch of online functionality at across all their games is way stronger than something like Microsoft or Sony had. Or not. I don't know. I didn't use Xbox or PlayStation very much.
Someone is snoring. Wake up! Wake up, damn it!
I'm here.
Someone's snoring.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, okay. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I think it's a stronger step forward than most people will sort of recognize, and I think they need to bide their time. Maybe by the time the whole paying for online subscription thing actually drops, and this hasn't improved, then I think people can start bitching and moaning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they start charging people and it hasn't gotten any better than what it is now when they start charging people for it, even though it's way less, it's like 60% less than what you're paying for the PSN or Xbox Live.
$20 a year is nothing.
That's like I said,
that's less than $2
less. Yeah, it's it's cheap.
YouTube Red is like $10 a month.
Yeah, and you're getting nothing for it. I mean, I hate to say that, but you're getting absolutely nothing for it.
Well, you are getting Google Play Music. Yeah, you get Google Play Music with YouTube Red. That's the only reason I pay for it. Plus, you get to upload your library to the Google Play Music place. So.
I guess. Like, here's the way I feel about YouTube. YouTube's paid stuff. Literally, the shows that they have on their paid stuff are not nearly as good as the stuff that's not on their paid stuff, in my opinion.
It's terrible. Their YouTube Red content is awful.
It's like, look at this. I mean, look, instead of spending $10 for YouTube Red, just get Netflix.
Yeah.
Or, if you have Netflix and Amazon Prime, you're good. Yeah. Like, you're good.
What kind of pricing is $10 a month? Seriously.
I mean,
I look at that
for
and
the
I'm laughing
shit
my
that
ass
they
off.
have. Okay. Amazon Prime has a $10.99 option. Instead of you paying $99 a year, $10.99 a month. So roughly $11. Okay, but you're getting like Amazon Prime, which I have for the $100 a year. Like, I have Amazon Prime. I get access to awesome award-winning HBO shows, Showtime stuff, like really good stuff, aside from just some of their own shitty stuff on Amazon. But with YouTube, a lot of it is just garbage. Like, the shows are just garbage.
Even though,
and they expect you to pay how much?
Even the higher tier shows, you can't. Even the higher tier shows, you don't reduce the prices or make them free. So it's just like I said, I only do it for the music service. That's all I do. Yeah, I only use it for my music service.
And they're like, we can't. I'm gonna keep it real. Google Play is a better deal than YouTube Music.
Yeah, it's like you're paying for when you buy Google Music. You're like introducing Google Music with YouTube Red as like a lower option, or like something they throw in.
Hey guys, don't you like this?
You can avoid all those commercials with like ad block or whatever. You don't really need YouTube Red to, whatever.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, but I don't know how this segued over into YouTube, but to YouTube Red. But have we exhausted the Nintendo Switch online chat yet? Can we move on to Capcom's continuous bullshit?
I saw that.
How much BS can they give? Besides anything, they were promising Switch games, but I say they already screwed their own pooch.
Where is where Triple M's at? Let's say he'd be here.
He's right here. He just popped in. He just slid in there, you know. It was a stealth. It was a stealth. He stealthed his way in here.
Yeah, ninja.
How's it going, Trip?
Just in time for round 2.
Yeah. You missed the first topic, but I mean, we pretty much exhausted that first topic. We hit basically the same points that Shadow Fox Infinite said. So, we had to do what we had to do.
I overheard the actual legitimate complaints. I have no argument for those there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there are legit complaints with the online service, but once again, it's a beta. It's free as it is right now. It will continue to be free until the end of this year. So I can't really get mad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you all still hear me?
We can hear you.
Hear you.
Okay.
You're gonna turn into the. Can you hear me now, guy? Can you hear me now?
Good.
Continue.
Oh no, go ahead, Wonder Dean.
No, that's what I wanted to say. I wasn't sure if you guys could hear me.
Well, let's get back to how is it Capcom or Crapcom? I'm not sure which.
It's Capcom, but they're approaching that. Okay. So my beef with Capcom right now comes out of love, in a sense, because
Love.
like personally, I didn't have much of a connection to. I know people are gonna dogpile me for this. I didn't have much of a connection to Mega Man. I didn't really grow up with the games. I did love the XZ games, but they stopped making those, so that's unfortunate. But and I'm not big into Street Fighter and stuff like that because I'm not big into fighting games. But speaking as a very, very big Monster Hunter fan, I do not like what Capcom's doing right now.
Oh, okay, let me stop you there, Dean. You didn't grow up with Mega Man, okay, fair enough, but then not even Street Fighter? Okay, not a fighting fan, but no. Your gamer card's revoked.
Oh, excuse you.
He's kidding. Let me put it this way.
I'll have you know I only play real fighting games like Mario Kart.
Smash Brothers. I didn't play Street Fighter, but I played Melee.
No, Street Fighter's fucking lame. So is Melee. You heard it here first.
See now I know you're effing with me. No, but continue.
That's the worst part. Street Fighter's only slightly lame.
But continue, Wonder Dean.
So, like, as a Monster Hunter fan, they're basically, right now, as a Monster Hunter fan who owns a Nintendo console, they're basically telling me, you don't matter, fuck you, we're gonna go to all these other systems. And, like, recently there was that rumor of, like, the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter compilation coming once again to everything but the Nintendo system, which doesn't make any sense.
Wait, there's a Street Fighter compilation?
Rumor.
Oh, it's a rumor. Okay,
yeah,
well...
Maximilian Dude's latest video has all the things you need. You know.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this is Maximilian Dude. This is the guy who gave a pass to Capcom for Street Fighter V, so I don't really...
He really gave a pass. He just said he liked the game.
Man, let me put it this way. The shit, look, to what? I mean, Street Fighter V at launch was literally 20% of a Street Fighter game. How can you like that if you're a fighting game fan?
Because
simple. He jerks off to fighting games.
No, he liked the mechanics of it. He liked the way it played. he never. I don't think he ever really gave a pass to the content stuff.
Okay.
Like
But still,
the more recent thing is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. He still has a lot of problems with the games, things he's made very clear, but he still likes the way the game plays. But anyway, that's a tangent. So it all comes down to, like, for me, Monster Hunter World. The game looks fine. It looks fun, and it looks like it's doing some good tweaks to the Monster Hunter formula. But there's no reason it shouldn't be coming over to a Nintendo console. Like, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, Double Cross is coming out." Yeah, Double Cross is actually coming out real soon in Japan. Even though Capcom
and
has
they're like,
no
we won't
plan to
localize it. Yeah.
So
I mean, if that game comes to America, it'll be because Nintendo localizes it, because they ain't gonna do it. That's basically what.
Just like Stories, just like 3 Ultimate, just like Generations even. So basically, and then they keep saying they're going to take this wait and see approach, which, like, doesn't make sense at this point. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, people will say, "Oh, of course they're going to take a wait and see approach." Like, look what happened to the Wii U. But, like, the Wii U, that happened to the Wii U because people kept taking a wait and see approach, which was just a front for them saying that they had no interest in it in the first place.
Well, let's keep it real. The wait and see approach was bullshit anyway. It's just they didn't.
Yeah,
want
that's
to
what I'm
support it.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's just their standard. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay.
Like, I have, like, World and Double Cross. They look fine, but I'm getting this gut wrenching feeling that Capcom might be messing up
mechanics.
Mechanically they're fun, but I'm getting this, like, gut wrenching feeling that Capcom might fuck up Monster Hunter at some point, which is not good because all they have going for them is Monster Hunter at this point.
They have pretty much saturated the market with Monster Hunter. I mean, let's keep it real. They have saturated the market with Monster Hunter, and that's one of the problems with Monster Hunter is that it's a little too saturated, in my opinion.
Monster Hunter World just looks so bland. It doesn't look as colorful and vibrant as.
Yeah, that's one of the things I noticed.
Graphical, intensive Monster Hunter.
That's one of the
really bland.
Yeah, it is the first, like, legitimately HD Monster Hunter, because 3 Ultimate and Double Cross, while being HD games, are more like upscaled non-HD games. So they weren't built for it.
So this is from the ground up HD.
Yeah, this is the first from the ground up HD Monster Hunter.
And they must be using a new engine.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely using a new engine.
That's probably why it's not that colorful, because they're using a new engine.
Yeah. Like, the game looks fine, and I'm gonna get it when it comes to PC next year. But, like, they're straddling a little too close to Sony, and that's never a good sign for a third-party company.
Yeah, because
go ask Square Enix how that turned out for them.
Yeah, when you get on your knees and gently pull down Sony's pants and try to show them favoritism, be careful.
You're gonna get something from that.
Yeah, you're gonna go visit the doctor afterwards and be like, "What? I can't. That's impossible. No, it's impossible."
Sony keeps pulling for this, like, weird exclusivity thing. That, to be fair, they've always depended on third-party companies to sort of carry their PlayStation line.
Yeah,
people will get mad at me for that, but Sony has never had strong exclusives.
No, they haven't. You're right.
Like, it's finally starting to, like, catch up to them. Like, the PS4, in my opinion, still doesn't have a good library. It did get something somewhat popular with the Crash remakes finally, but it took really long to get good games on it. Good exclusive games.
Now, here's what I wanted to say about the whole Monster Hunter thing. What was the one that was coming for the PS4 called again?
Monster Hunter World. That's the one we were talking about.
Okay, Monster Hunter World. Now, I get what you're saying, Wanda Dean, that a game like that shouldn't. There's no excuse for it not to come on Nintendo platform. What I am specific on that part is we've mostly seen the Monster Hunter franchise on handhelds before, and this is the first one that's going to be a console version.
That's not true. Monster Hunter 1 and 2 started on the PlayStation 2. It started as a console game.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay, let me rephrase that. It seems like it had. It looked like when the franchise was moved towards the handheld, well, like the Nintendo's DS or 3DS, that's where it actually catch on. It got much more it had much more appeal after the PS2 did.
Yeah, the first big breakthrough for Monster Hunter, because it was always a million seller before, but it first got really popular with Monster Hunter Freedom Unite for the PSP.
Oh, yes.
So it first got really popular with the PSP because of going portable, but then it reached new heights of sales with the Wii and 3DS.
All right. So on that note, why is it going back on the console on the PS4, which doesn't have portability?
Yeah, I think personally, I think it's because Sony money hatted the game.
Yeah, I think
that's
so
what
too.
I think. Because Sony has cash now, and Sony has cash from the PS4 and the PS3 games that have been selling, and instead of taking that money and using it to make some first-party games, that the Sony fan base is always saying Sony first-party games are good. Instead of doing that, they just basically just like to pretend that no more snoring. They like to pretend. They like to pretend that they like to pretend that essentially they like to Sony fans pretend that Sony has great first party games that they love, but then you look at the sales of their first party games and most of them sell abysmally. So instead of putting money, which makes sense for Sony because their first party games don't sell that well or not well enough for them to actually be a reliable source of income. But I guess they really want to, they're pushing third party games. But I don't think Monster Hunter is going to do that well on the PS4. I really don't. Because you have I don't think it's going to do well in Japan because you have an entire generation of Monster Hunter fans who have been playing them on 3DSs and then the Vita and the PSP. It's been portable for years.
Don't underestimate Monster Hunter or brand value for a lot of Japanese stuff in general.
Well, let me put it this way. Monster Hunter has brand value, but the king of brand value in Japan ain't Monster Hunter, it's Dragon Quest. So I don't see Japanese gamers basically doing that for this Monster Hunter.
Wait.
I think they're going to have to make the choice between this Monster Hunter and Double Cross. And I think Double Cross is going to be the king.
Yeah, Double Cross is going to be way better because the Switch is doing really well in Japan because it's portable, because it realized the problem consoles have in Japan, and that's space taking. Consoles and
exactly
PCs don't sell very well and aren't as popular because of how much space they can take up and how bulky they are. So that's why people have been saying that this is a more Western-focused Monster Hunter, because it probably won't sell as well as the other Monster Hunters. I think it'll sell okay, especially compared to a lot of. I think it'll sell okay in Japan, at least. It won't be.
It'll sell okay compared to other places, but I don't think it's going to do that well in Japan. I think it's going to flop in the West because Monster Hunter really is not. I know people like Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is not that type of game. It's not that game that's just gonna. It's not that hit. It's not Splatoon. It's not Dragon Quest. It's not that. It's not Final Fantasy. It's not one of those. It's not that. It's a very niche game. Even though they've grown that niche, it's still very niche.
Not in Japan.
And the niche is portable. It's not on console. So I don't know. You know, like I know most people who aren't buying a PS4 in order to get this damn game. That's what I'm saying.
Whatever happened to Deep Down?
It Deep Down went deep undercover, and you ain't gonna see.
Wait, what's Deep Down?
Deep Down was basically what they originally were calling a Dragon's Dragon's Pawn online, basically.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Like Dragon's Pawn is this open world. It uses the Monster Hunter engine, but on consoles, and like you can grab on the monsters and climb up their bodies and attack various body parts and stuff. It has different. It's
like in Monster Hunter World.
Because
you can like
if you can do that in Monster Hunter World, then Dragon's Pawn is probably the engine they probably used in order to make Monster Hunter World. Dragon's Pawn is basically it's Capcom's take on classical D&D done in real-time combat. That's basically what it is. Because you have a lot of classical D&D monsters like chimeras and griffins and the undead and beholders and dragons and wyverns and
Deep Down was announced like at the it was announced at the PS4 reveal.
Yeah, but that game is never going to come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose it's just another Scalebound.
Yeah. Except it wasn't canceled as publicly as Scalebound was, and Capcom didn't blame consumers for why it got canceled. Consumers' expectations were too low. I mean, were too high. Man, fuck you.
I guess that's why Bayonetta 2. I guess that's why Bayonetta never got a sequel.
Well, every game should be, and then every third-party AAA game should be canceled from here on out.
Yeah, because consumers' expectations are too high. But that's what the dude said. I didn't say that. That's what the dude said.
Now, thank you, Wanda Dean. That was actually the point that I was going to make, that since the Switch is actually a portable console. But now, yes, there's a caveat that even though the Switch is basically sold out right now, so they probably aren't going to have much incentives to put or to make Monster Hunter World on the Switch.
For that, they're probably just going to say, well, we're making another Monster Hunter on the Switch. We don't want them to compete, so let's just not port it over.
Yeah.
That's probably the argument they're going to make.
Yeah, but now there's an other caveat on top of that caveat, is how long will Capcom is going to wait for that right time to bring a Monster Hunter game that they wanted to put on a console?
I mean, I think Monster Hunter World is coming out this fall for the PS4. I mean, this holiday season for the PS4.
No, I think it's 2018.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's probably going to be a spring game then. Because they want to get that out as soon as humanly possible, I think.
Yeah. All I know about it is that it's coming out for the PS4, and then later it's coming out for the Xbox One and PC.
Well, here's what I'll say. If it's coming out for the Xbox One, it's gonna flop harder than a belly flopping into a. Basically, if you're a Japanese developer and you put a game on the Xbox, it just dies. It's suicide. That game just runs out the door and slits its own throat.
It baffles me that developers can justify a release for the Xbox One, but not for the Nintendo Switch.
But
yeah.
It's because Microsoft is paying them.
Yeah, but then here's the problem with.
The only conclusion.
Also, there was something that OJ said a year back, which it does have some sort of ability. Yes, I will give him some, at least some merit that what he was saying, that some Japanese companies still has the mindset, because the Xbox is an American brand, that they think that they could penetrate the West through the Xbox brand, which
If they think that, then I have some rocks to sell them. Then I'll tell them they're from the moon and they're $50 a pound. Here's what I'll say about the Xbox. Okay, the Xbox isn't an American brand. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Okay, because the Xbox the Xbox was failing for the first 3 years of its life in America. Okay, in America. Okay. Now that's like you own your own house, but I mean that's like you don't even feel safe and secure in your own house. That's a problem. Okay, they spend billions of dollars in order to just they're still getting their ass kicked in America.
The Xbox aesthetically, the Xbox is probably one of the most unattractive systems ever. Like, it was this big, giant black brick with this green dot on top of it. You know. And let me
put it this way: there is no market that the Xbox has dominated. It didn't dominate America. It didn't dominate the American market. It didn't dominate Europe. It didn't dominate Japan. Like literally, it's a triple loser. Xbox, the original Xbox was a loser. The 360 was a loser. The Xbox One is a loser. Literally, they have no market that they have dominated. So if you're a Japanese publisher and you think that putting your games on a console that has literally no market that it really solidly holds down, you're an idiot.
That's why it's called the triple. That's why the new Xbox is called the triple Xbox, because it's symbolic of all the times all of its failures.
Now it's symbolic. It's called the triple Xbox because if you're a Japanese company putting your game on that system, you're getting screwed. That's why it's called the triple Xbox. But you're getting screwed. That was a good one. Come on, give it up. Come on.
But then here comes another caveat on the point about the release date for Monster Hunter World, that is 2018. Now, probably that would be an actual sweet spot for that game to be released on the Switch. Why? On the Switch, not the PS4, on the Switch.
But it's not coming to the Switch.
That's right after Super Mario Odyssey.
Of course.
That'd be right after Super Mario Odyssey and before Metroid Prime and a bunch of other games.
Yeah, like basically. Okay, look, if that game came out to the Switch between Super Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Metroid Prime 4.
Hold on, Red. Did they actually delay Super Mario Odyssey for next year?
No. That's coming out in October.
It's coming out this holiday.
Yeah, we actually got a release date and everything.
It's coming out. It's coming out this holiday season. Okay, so if it comes out for this holiday season, and then you factor in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is coming out which is supposed to come out it's either going to come out November, December, or January. Okay. So that 3-month period, okay, those are two. Okay, Super Mario Odyssey is going to be a solid game, but Xenoblade Chronicles is a huge game that's going to have tons of replayability, and it's one of those sit down, you're deep into it, okay. So basically, and then you have Metroid Prime 4. I mean, come on, man.
I was about to say that's coming in 2018.
Here's the thing: if you put Monster Hunter out against those 3 games, that game is dead on the Switch. Literally, that game might as well slit its own throat and run out the door. I'm alive. Oh.
I mean, it'd probably do better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2, honestly. Monster Hunter Tri did really well, after all. That was back on the Wii.
I don't think it's gonna do better than Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
2009. I mean,
if it came to the Switch, I don't think it's going to come to the Switch. But if it did, I don't think it's going to do better because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is going to have no competition. Because what game is going to come out in the holiday season, aside from Mario Odyssey. I mean, there's nothing else like it on the system.
Okay,
I don't think.
I'm kind of a bit confused, but I thought Monster Hunter World is coming 2018, and
Yeah, it is.
besides Metroid Prime 4, the others are coming out this year.
The reason I say it would be competing against Xenoblade Chronicles X is because the genre. They're both open world games.
Okay.
And also because Xenoblade Chronicles X is coming out at the end of the year, so like December, November, December, maybe January if they delay it. Which we're lucky Nintendo hasn't really delayed any games yet, so.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised we're getting Mario Odyssey so early.
Yes.
Like,
No,
we're still getting that in fall.
Nintendo is lining up all their punches. They're like a boxer hitting with jabs, hooks, and basically the jabs and the hooks. The jabs and the hooks were Mario Kart 8 and Arms, but the hook to the body was Splatoon 2. And then they're gonna jab some more until October, and then they're gonna uppercut your ass in the solar plexus with Mario Odyssey, and then they're gonna hit you in the throat with maybe Chronicles. Yeah, maybe Chronicles 2. And then if that doesn't work, they're gonna curb stomp you when they drop Metroid Prime 4. Like Nintendo with this, like the biggest mistake that Nintendo made with the Wii U was trusting third parties to support it.
Oh yeah.
Okay? This system, they're like, fuck y'all, we're gonna do our own shit, and you can get on board or not. That's why Capcom with their, we don't know if we don't have any more games planned for the Switch. Really? Well, fuck you if you don't get on board now. That's basically.
I completely forgot that Mario plus Rabbids is releasing in August.
Yeah, that is true. So there you go, folks.
Yeah, until Capcom actually switched its gears when Street Fighter 2 Ultimate is a success, even though they didn't put out any numbers.
That game is because it's a fucking port from the PS2 game that came out, or was it the PS? No, it was the PS2 game. The PS2 Street Fighter 2 HD remaster.
Yeah, it was an HD re-release online or something like that.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, it was the PS3. But, I mean, basically, it's just a port of a port of a port. I mean, it was cheap for them to put that game on the system. They just added that shitty Hadouken mode. That shitty Hadouken mode.
What you mean?
Hadouken.
I mean, I like Hadoukens. I'm just simply saying that they just added that because they were like, yeah, we got to use these Joy-Cons. I mean, personally, instead of giving us Ultimate Street Fighter 2 Final Ultimate, this is it, we promise, until they re-release it on something else, I really wish they'd done a Tatsunoko versus Capcom 2.
Oh yes, that would have
been cool.
But that would have required effort.
Yeah, and Capcom
and we all know how third parties are when it comes to effort.
Well, Capcom and effort are like two,
Also, a lot of copyright bullshit, but
Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. And on top of that, they released they added Hugo, the new character, to Street Fighter V, who's broken as hell with his hip detection. Yeah, Abigail. And they're like the classic character Abigail. You mean the character who was only in one fucking game? Final Fight 1?
And that's fight.
Yeah, where the heck is Blanco? Where the heck is Sagat? Yeah, who else is missing from that roster?
They had this reveal trailer, like the classic character Abigail.
It's not even a Honda.
Really? Seriously? You're gonna call Abigail a classical character?
It was especially embarrassing because around that same time, Jubei was announced for Blaze Blue.
Yeah. They're just.
That was crazy.
Capcom is a bundle of fail, I mean, especially with their flagship. That'd be like Nintendo saying, "Hey guys, guess what? We're releasing a Smash Brothers like RPG in the vein of a Paper Mario, something like that." And we're gonna have all your usual characters, and they announce the roster. Like, here's 6 starting characters. You've got Toad, okay. You got a Goomba, all right. You've got a Federation Marine. Okay. You've got
Warts.
you got Ward. It's like, all right. And then finally, that classical character, Captain Syrup. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, where'd you get these characters from?
Characters.
Like if Arc System plays their cards right, they could steal the Street Fighter Thunder away from Capcom.
Dude, they're already doing that with Dragon Ball Fighters.
You know,
anyone could steal the look. You could Stick Fighter off of a Flash site is a better game than Street Fighter V. And Stick Fighters is stickmen beating up each other. That's
I was
all
about
it
to
is.
say, Super Smash Flash is better than that.
I mean, like, basically, Capcom has fucked up their own core franchise because Street Fighter is their core franchise. That's what Capcom, like, okay, Street Fighter, Mega Man.
No, not really Mega Man. It's Street
Well,
Fighter.
it used to be Mega Man. Okay, back in the day, it was Mega Man. It was
they're
Street
top
Fighter,
three.
Mega Man.
Yeah, their top three right now
And
are
Monster
Street
Hunter.
Fighter, Resident Evil, and Monster Hunter.
Well, they fucked up Resident Evil, and they fucked up Street Fighter. The only horse pulling this chariot is Monster Hunter. And Monster Hunter getting tired.
I'm
I
getting
was about to
scared.
say,
Monster
isn't
Hunter.
Ace Attorney joining in
No,
and carrying that load, or is it just Monster Hunter?
it's just Monster Hunter.
Just
Monster Hunter,
because they messed up Resident Evil. Because that last Resident Evil 6, where was it? Whatever that one that really wasn't
I
a
said
Resident
Ace
Evil game.
Attorney.
If they had pushed Ace Attorney more, it would be bigger. But they like when Ace Attorney jumped from the Game Boy Advance to the was it the DS? The DS to the 3DS. When it jumped from the DS when it jumped from the Game Boy Advance and the DS to the 3DS, they kind of stopped pushing it from the DS to 3DS jump. They were like, whatever. I don't know why, because Ace Attorney was a fun game. Oh well.
I actually thought that Ace Attorney would have played like how you're playing it with your three sideways like a book.
I always thought Ace Attorney should have been like that Atlas Trauma Team game, except instead of medicine, you're a lawyer, like investigating stuff and arguing your case. Like the whole objection thing, like it's kind of like that, but not really. And ironically, the one I like the most is the one that had Apollo Justice in it, and not Phoenix Wright. Like I'm not a huge Phoenix Wright fan. I know it's weird. That like the character who's only in like 2 games is the one I like the most.
That character appeals more to you, so I get that.
I liked him because he cold cocked Phoenix Wright and because Phoenix Wright fabricated evidence and gave it to him in like the prologue case so that he would get off, and he like Apollo just like, man, you motherfucker, just knocked the shit out of him. I loved it. I was like, anyone who would cold cock Phoenix Wright, I got to give props to just being badass. That's badass as hell. I give props to badass people. But, yeah.
Oh, now, since we're still on the Capcom topic, when they mentioned about that they're going to jump or do a full swan dive for the Switch, making games for the Switch, after the success of Street Fighter 2 Ultimate. Now, as many of us already know, we are still skeptical about that part because we are maybe some people don't know where we're coming from. The reason why we're skeptical about it is because of track record.
Well, actually, I was going to say we're skeptical because we have half a brain, but that works too. I can think. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah, because they have said something similar like this before, and if you consider like what 1-2 2, maybe 3 games tops for an entire generation to be full support compared to the other consoles in that very same generation, yeah, I'm still staying skeptical. At least me. Anyone else?
I don't know what to say except, you know, I mean, we can't trust Capcom. I mean, like, okay, if they were serious about putting games on the system, okay, fair enough. But they need to actually, like, the games don't have to be big. They could do a Final Fight Trilogy collection and put it on the system for like $20, $30, all 3 games with maybe some online drop-in, drop-out co-op. And they could put that game on the system.
They could do what Bandai Namco is doing and put just a bunch of Bandai Namco I think is putting like a bunch of Neo Geo games. I might get the company wrong, but like
That's SNK.
Whoever's putting the Neo Geo games, Capcom could do something like that.
That would be SNK.
SNK.
Yeah, that's SNK. It's not Neo Geo, but if it was Neo Geo, that'd be cool.
Well, they were Neo Geo games.
Yeah.
They released Metal Slug 2 and 3, I believe. Things like that. If Capcom just released some of their old games in like that format, like they do well and it put a presence on their system, but they don't seem interested in making stuff for Nintendo right now.
Yeah, and if they were serious, they would actually be putting. I mean, it doesn't have to be. They don't have to be AAA games. They could just be okay. Like I said, a Final Fight Trilogy collection, Knights of the Round, King of Dragons, Breath of Fire 1, 2, and 3 on the system. I mean, they could be doing things that you don't have to spend buku cash in order to put those games on the system. And that would at least get your foot in the door. But they aren't doing that. Why? Because they're lazy bastards and fuck them. That's how I feel. So there you go, folks.
You know, it's kind of funny when you put Capcom, SNK, and Namco, 2 out of the 3 is actually doing that. Like one of these said with SNK's Neo Geo games, then you got Bandai Namco with its Namco Museum, and Capcom is just Street Fighter 2: The Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, which is a port of a port of a port of a port. and there are other games that should have been on the system that still haven't been on the system, like
Hey, but to be fair, at least that port of a port is an enhanced port compared to the other companies, which is just a direct port from the original form. But yeah, I digress.
I mean, I'm just saying there are other games that should be on the system, like
yeah.
No, I was gonna say other games that should be on the system, like say that awesome Disney Afternoon collection.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, why was that put on? That was just such a waste of.
Because they're assholes. That's why.
Or the rumored 30th anniversary Street Fighter collection.
Yeah, that no.
Again,
I mean, you'd get Third Strike and Street Fighter 2 again. Maybe Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, like here's the thing. There's so many versions of Street Fighter that it's really hard for me to dredge up, you know, excitement about another Street Fighter game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was just that, if that rumor is going to imply that they're actually going to do that, they might as well just make that whole compilation with the Ultimate Edition in there.
Like, it's just so hard for me to care about another Street Fighter game. Now, if they were saying we're doing Darkstalkers, or we're doing the non-canonical games like Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, something like that, yeah, I might care. But this shit, no, man, I can't do it.
Okay.
They should do something. They should do something really weird, like Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat or something.
They should do something really weird, like release their niche titles again, like Zack and Wiki.
Yeah, that was a good game. Or they could go back to their old games that people don't know about, like I don't know, Captain Commando
or Mega Man.
Or Mega Man, or Street Fighter, shit that no one knows about, and yet they just continuously keep on just pumping stupid crap that isn't worth anything.
Which is kind of funny when you mention about Mega Man, and there's practically no new games of Mega Man, but yet we're getting an anime show of Mega Man.
Oh yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah, which it's kind of funny or ironic to me because as a game company, you would put out the game first and then market it with the cartoon behind it. But this is the opposite.
No, they saw what Sega did with that shitty Sonic Boom game, and they were like, "Well, we'll do the same thing." That's what that shit is.
You know what? At least I'll give Sega respect because they actually came out with a game.
Yeah, but that game was so bad that it should not have existed.
Yeah.
It's the scourge that shall not be named, Sonic Boom. Like, that game is so bad that I borrowed that game from a friend of mine, and then I played it. I played it while listening to Lonely Wolf, which is the theme song for Colonel Guile from Street Fighter. The song that goes with everything. Dun, 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 dun. Not even that song can make that game worth playing. Do you know how shitty a game has to be where Guile's theme song can't make the shit worth playing?
What game is this?
Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. Guile's theme can't make that game playable.
Wow.
That's bad. Okay, because Guile's theme makes everything sound good.
It sounds superior.
Because it's just a badass theme song. I mean, haven't you seen Guile's theme goes with everything? Like they did that thing from Monty Python's and the Quest for the Holy Grail, where this knight like runs into this castle and like punches this old lady in the face, like beats all these dudes to go to this old lady just to punch her in the face, and it's like that's horrible. But then they put Guile's theme to it, and it actually sounded really badass. Because Guile's theme makes everything sound cool.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Guile's theme is the only song you could replace the Jedi theme from Star Wars 2, and it would sound just as cool.
Yeah.
Watch Return of the Jedi when Luke does that thing where he does the tip off and he does the double jump and gets his lightsaber and starts tearing those dudes up. Just play the Guile theme song. It sounds so badass.
Can you imagine an orchestrated version of that song?
I've heard it orchestrated. It's fucking badass. There are 3 video game songs that I've heard orchestrated that are just so much better orchestrated. They're so fucking badass. Chrono's theme for Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Guile's theme from
Street Fighter 2?
From Street Fighter 2. And the third theme that I've heard, it wasn't orchestrated, it was arranged, was when I was a little kid. They played the Super Mario World theme for on the steel drums. Yeah. Yeah. No. If you go to Star World in Super Mario World, there's like it starts off playing something that sounds like completely differently, but then if you listen long enough, it turns in the Super Mario World theme. But it's on steel drums. I mean, that's what they were trying to go through on the SNES. But this was actually on steel drums, and it sounded really good. I was like, my God, you bastards. how could you do this? I mean, my point is that basically,
your point being?
My point is that good music, is that like even that good music could not save a shitty game like Street Fighter. I mean, like a shitty game like Sonic Boom. And I don't think that this Mega Man game is going to be very good because Capcom doesn't care about making good games anymore. They want to make something that's going to make them money. And if the game is good, they don't give a shit. They just want it to make them money.
Man, I even have to give Konami a much better respect than Capcom when it comes to that.
Nah, man, Konami is the only company that could license out Castlevania to be made into a Netflix series. I'm using air quotes when I say that because that was like 25-minute episodes is not a season, okay? That's an OVA split into 4 parts.
At least it's getting a second season.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be longer than 4 damn episodes.
Yeah, it's gonna be 8 episodes.
Ooh, that's gonna be 2 OVAs cutting it into 4 parts each. And here's how sad that shit was. How in the hell do you make a Netflix animated series that has none of the Castlevania music in it?
Because it probably belongs to somebody else. I don't want to pay that person.
No, a lot of it belongs to Konami.
Which is a sad thing.
Like, how do you have? I mean, no Bloody Tears, no Vampire Killer.
Do they fully own the rights to that music?
Yeah, it's theirs.
100%.
It's like Nintendo. It's like Nintendo owns the rights to the Super Mario song, even though Koji Kondo wrote it. It's theirs.
I think the no music thing was like probably a creative decision from the guys actually making it. Because
I don't know.
Konami isn't making it. Frederator is making it.
Yeah, they licensed. Okay, Frederator licensed that game, and they got like Frederator is doing this shit on a budget because if you look at the credits for all of these, it's from some Korean animation studio. Let me tell you something about Korean animation for Japanese anime. When Japanese anime is farming it out to Korea, that's bottom of the barrel because that's even cheaper than China. Like Chinese, Japanese anime is done on the cheap anyway. Like they get paid basically like the equivalent of the amount of animation it takes to do like 5 minutes of full on animation. They get paid maybe $10 for that much work.
That's weird because Avatar: The Last Airbender. They farmed that out to Korea. Animation studio in Korea, but it looks pretty good to me. But
they were probably paying them more than the market average in Korea, but for them it was still cheap. But Frederator was going bottom of the barrel cheap because some of the animation in that Netflix show is just, oh God, Jesus Christ. The action is poorly animated. This thing is rated R, but they can't show a dude's face getting bitten off by a demon. I'm like, what? How the hell does that happen?
Yeah, the hard R is a little annoying. Like, I don't like how people think something like dark fantasy, like something like Game of Thrones, is more interesting than anything else. It's like a personal thing, but I don't like the whole dark fantasy aesthetic.
I understand where you're coming from, Dean. What I'm saying is that this is Castlevania. This is like, but here's the thing: they can't show gratuitous gore, but they're okay showing a demon like having someone's baby in its mouth and flying off. You know that baby is fucked, right? Like they'll show a woman getting burnt at the stake, but they won't show the guy who helped order the whole thing get his face eaten off by a demon. I'm like, what?
That's tame.
it's like they make some really bad decisions in how this. But here's the thing: I don't think that was a ratings thing. I think they were just so cheap they didn't want to animate it. They're like, we can't. We ran out of a budget to animate this shit. So
well, that's the thing. They probably had
that thing.
They probably only had so much money that they couldn't pay for the rights to the music.
That's because you can literally tell how some of the drawings really well done, but the action scenes are garbage. I mean, they're terrible because it was done on the cheap.
I actually think the action scenes were better than everything else. Especially that last one in the 4th episode.
Yeah, I think really they blew their money on that one, but I mean the other action scenes are kind of mediocre at best.
Here's the bright side, though. Here's the bright side. At least
maybe it'll get better.
Maybe it'll get better. Yeah, maybe it'll get a better budget, and it's also a sign that we could probably see adaptations of various video games that are, done by people who grew up with this stuff.
Anime adaptations are cool. Anime adaptations of video games work because it's animated. It's already close to what the artwork already is. I'm just kind of pissed that they went with Trevor Belmont because I don't like Castlevania 3, but that's just me.
well, the thing is, the person who made this also wants to make a Metroid one. It's like you better be able to shell out a lot of money because it's science fiction, and that you have to make that look really good.
No, you could do a Metroid thing that isn't ultra, but because the thing about Metroid is that Metroid isn't so much about the graphics; it's about the atmosphere.
I think Metroid could work good as a short movie, or even as a longer movie, but not as a series.
No, but you could do a 3-part OVA that has Samus that doesn't have anything to do with the games, but has not directly. You could have Samus let herself be captured by space pirates because she's trying to find information on how to find Ridley, right? And it turns out because
Other M would have been better as that.
Oh God, no! Fuck other M. No. Jesus Christ, no. But if you read any of the mangas, the extended universe mangas about Metroid, you find out that Ridley and Kraid have this rivalry because Ridley is batshit fucking crazy, and Kraid is not. And Kraid used to be the right-hand man of Mother Brain before Ridley came in and took over because he's batshit crazy. And you could have a 3-part thing where basically Kraid is like, okay, I'm going to feed this information to Samus because she really fucking hates Ridley. And I'm going to keep my hands clean and she's going to take care of Ridley and I can take the right-hand spot of Mother Brain. And, you could have, because Kraid, despite his massive size, is actually a super genius. So you could have a 3-part thing where Samus lets herself get captured to get the information, winds up killing one of Kraid's little helpers, which she does in all the games, the little false Kraid. And then she blows up the facility she's in after she gets the information, not realizing that Kraid set all this up just to take out his opponent, Ridley, right? And you could that could be a 3-part OVA, 25 minutes each, nothing too fancy. And you would not have to have Samus say a fucking word because, my God, I never want to hear Samus talk. If they use that horrible script they had from Other M, I never want to hear a word she has to say ever again. But if they... that would be perfect. I never want to hear that. I never want to hear that voice ever again. Ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. Never, ever, ever.
Well, at least you get one.
The baby.
The baby.
The baby.
No. I can't do it. I can't. Other M is just the game. Okay, the gameplay is solid, but that story, Jesus Christ, and that acting. Oh God, no. Let's move on to the next topic.
Okay.
let's move on to the next topic because we always go off tangent, but it's worthwhile.
Good, yeah.
Mighty Number Nine's final insult.
Oh God.
I think everything that's been said about that could be said about Mighty Number 9 has been said.
Well, the physical editions can't. Here's all I gotta say: the physical editions for people who paid $60 for the physical editions, they were supposed to get manuals that were in color, and boxes with the physical copy of the game. There is no physical copy of the game. The boxes, the boxes came with a manual, but the manual is in grayscale, so black and white. And to add the final insult to injury, the manual doesn't even fit in the box.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me the last thing that they're supposed to do or they're supposed to bring out, they half-assed it?
Yeah, that's that KG and Afune concept. Oh boy, they really.
Now, Walter D, you agree with what you said that everything that needs to be said has been said already, but it's like this is just
keep on fucking up. Yeah, they.
The bright side to all this is you can go play Mighty Gunvolt and get the Mighty Number 9 game you always wanted.
Well, I mean, what else could be said? Inafune tried to shoot for the stars with a slingshot, and he fooled everyone into thinking he had a rocket ship. So
no, he didn't even have a slingshot. He had a damn rubber band.
A slingshot is a rubber band.
But a slingshot is sturdier. I mean, you might be able to do something. You know, if you're on a planet with low enough gravity, you might be able to leave orbit with a slingshot, but a rubber band, you're SOL. But here's the thing about Keiji Inafune, and that I want people to understand about any Japanese developer that leaves their home company. Okay, most Japanese developers that leave their home company don't do shit afterwards. There's very few Shinji Mikamis and Hideki Kamiyas, okay?
And the jury's still out on Igarashi.
Yeah, and Koji Igarashi.
His game
has Sakurai tried to do that shit. I'm mad at Nintendo. How? Kiss my ass. He left, and he made Luminous. And after EA fucked him over with Luminous, he came back. He's like, look, man, it's hard out there. Shit. Look, can I get a gig? Shit, let me do something.
He was tired of it, so he went back to Nintendo and made more sequels.
Yeah. He was like, see, that's the thing. Like, people listen. It's hard out there when you're out on your own. It's hard. You know, it's good to have publisher. People like, I can't stand publishers. Look, the support. Like, people get mad at publishers, but publishers give you okay. If Keiji Inafune was still at Capcom, right? He could have easily gone to Capcom and said, hey, guys, I have an idea for a low-budget Mega Man game. Give me $500,000, and we can put it on the 3DS and make, $50 million back off of a $500,000 game. And they could have done that easily, and they would have made money off of it. There's no one around to do that because Keiji Inafune can't just go and ask people for that type of money now. He's got to do shady shit like he did with Mighty Number 9. So
now, didn't someone said about even after that certain developer leaves a publisher, they still have the mindset that they still have cash or as much cash as they still would when they were still with the publisher.
Well, they get used to having. They get used to having
everything their way.
Well, I mean, they get used to having those resources. You know.
Yeah. So they don't know how to downsize or when to downsize.
So, I feel sorry about it, but it's true. It's because, okay, even it's not the resource thing. It's just okay, like, okay, if someone over at Nintendo says, hey guys, here's a demo for a game, like that's how Splatoon came. Someone came up with a demo. They made a bargain budget game that made millions. I mean, billions. It's a $1 billion franchise now off of just something that someone threw together with a low budget. Like, that's something they can do because they had Nintendo behind them. Do you honestly think someone off the streets can go to Nintendo, I have an idea for a game, here's a demo? They probably tell them to go fuck themselves. I mean, I don't know if they'd say that because it's Japan. They're probably a bit more couth than that. But you get what I'm saying, right?
Unless they see,
They would say, would you kindly go F yourself?
Yeah. Would you kindly? Domo arigato.
Please understand.
Have the water go out there. Please understand. But because I don't like Katsumi Kimishima. I know a lot of people do, but fuck Elmer the turtle, because he looks like a turtle. But I just thought that'd be a funny story. So next, well, let's move on to the next thing, which is it turns out that BioWare might be making another Dragon Age game.
Ooh!
It's over.
I don't know anything about Dragon Age.
I think.
A good one this time? No, wait a minute. This is a rumor, right?
Well, they're hiring, and they've renewed a copyright, and people who've been working on stuff think, well, they might be making a thing. Personally, I don't think. Like, okay, here's what I personally think. There's a PC Gamer article that I linked in this podcast thing that basically this guy is talking about all the things he wants in another Dragon Age game. He's like, yeah, I want better characters, I want better party banter, but all the examples he uses are from Origins, like almost all of them, except for like, and I'm like, but you spend half of your time shitting on Origins, but you also want it to be more like Origins. Like, it seems a little bit two-faced to me. Just saying.
Yeah.
So thinking about the hypotheticals that might be going on with Dragon Age, what would you guys want in a Dragon Age game in the future?
I'm the last one you guys would ask me that. So
yeah, I've never played a Dragon Age game.
Oh, goddamn. Well, I guess we'll be moving on to another time. Since no one here has a Dragon Age game.
Yeah.
Hold on. Red, do you still have those bullet points that this person was talking about, this new Dragon Age game that he wanted to
Sure, I have the bullet points. I have a link to the thing. I'll just read them to you guys because some of these arguments are kind of stupid. So these are
wait. Hold on. While we're still on Dragon Age, what are the good Dragon Age games?
Dragon Age Origins.
Dragon Age Origins.
That's the only good one. Dragon Age 2 is terrible, and Dragon Age Inquisition is better than 2. But that's like someone saying, "Hey man, you got to jump over this bar," but wait, and then they put it on the floor. Jump over that. Like, that's not hard to be better than. So. So the first one is better combat, and he says, I don't expect BioWare to reprise Origins combat. That just isn't how big publishers make RPGs now, for better or for worse. It would be nice to see a little bit more fine-tuning when it comes to customizing your party tactics, though, which was streamlined in Inquisition with a system that wasn't quite as intuitive or useful as Origins was. Origins lets you program very specific conditions for when your character's used abilities. I'd like to see the next game offer that mastery. Players who want an easier time of it can just carry on playing Dragon Age like an action game, which is honestly how I've played it since the first game came out. I don't mind too much. Inquisition is more than serviceable as an action game, and I can only see BioWare getting better at that in the years since its release. But offering more optional ways to strategize would please some parts of the series' fan base. Samuel Roberts, that's who said that. That was the first point that he made. But like I said, he's shitting on Origins, but he wants it to be more like Origins.
Yeah. I was kind of confused by that.
Yeah, like every single argument's like that. It's like less extraneous side quests. And like he's like, yeah, it needs to be more like Origins. Like, okay. And then like open world areas that don't feel like MMO zones. He's like, but it needs to be more like Origins. I'm like, complicated villains. I'm like, but almost all the characters he mentions are from Origins.
All right. There was one that I actually thought about, the whole complicated villain thing. He oversimplified that. Probably he should have said villains that have a backstory that is not cookie cutter. Can I say that?
I think he was meaning villains who have understandable or complicated reasoning for their villainous actions. Because I mean, I'm gonna spoil Dragon Age Origins for you guys a little bit. Terran Loghain, who he mentions is one of the Dragon Age having a complicated villain. Terran Loghain commits treason against his king in the opening act of the first game, because basically the king realizes in the Dragon Age universe they have these things called blights, where these zombies come out and just wipe the land full of life and kill everybody and stuff like that. And the king basically comes to the realization that in order for us to fight against this blight, we're going to have to team up with the other kingdom that the empire that invaded us like 30 years ago, because this is a world-ending event and we need to band together. And Terran Loghain is one of those people that fought against the occupiers. Is like, no, we're not going to do that. So when like in this opening war, this battle that's supposed to be like when they push the Darkspawn back, he doesn't bring his army there and commits treason. The king dies. He's like, I'm not going to support this. Like, why should I root for a guy who commits treason? I don't like it. Well, he has his reasons. Yeah, but because of him, all this other fucked up shit happens. Like, I don't get how I'm supposed to like that's not a complicated villain. You just have a villain that has a somewhat understandable reason for him doing the fucked up shit he does. Flemeth is the Witch of the Wilds. She basically gets old and then she basically hijacks a younger woman's body in order to perpetuate her life cycle. That's kind of fucked up. Kidnapping kids and raising them just so that you can take over their body. I mean,
yeah.
That's not a complicated villain. like his reasoning is kind of stupid. And then there's the Kunari shock.
Sounds like a Naruto plot, which is a plot that derives from somewhere else, which derives from somewhere else.
Man,
not
Naruto.
Raising kids and raising them so that you can snatch their body later.
Not Naruto.
That's what popped up in my head when you mentioned that plot line.
Well, but Dragon Age Origins came out well before Naruto. So,
yeah, I know. I understand that Naruto's unoriginal.
Yeah.
It was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah. So, and then he says like dragons. He's like, this is the only one where he's like, well, it needs to be like Inquisition. But here's the thing. Like the reason he likes the Inquisition dragons is because he actually had to use strategy, which throws it back on the Origins, which was very strategic. So, and then he's like, New Game Plus. He's like, okay, that's the new one that had nothing to do with anything. Big parties and a lot of banter. But he's like, it needs to have big parties and a lot of banter. He's like, Inquisition had big parties. But here's the thing. He likes Inquisition because of the cameos of other characters from earlier games. And then his favorite one, it's like Morgan and Alistair. Those are main characters from Origin.
Oh, gosh.
Like, why do they keep on?
Okay.
He's like, yeah, fuck this game. He's like, it can't be like Origins, but Origins is like the best one in the series.
You know what? I get, okay. What I'm understanding from this chap here, he wants to give out good reasonings, but he's using the wrong words or wrong terms and putting it for the wrong game. But never mind.
Yeah, he's using some very slanted reasoning. I'm like, dude, like, you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. You know, that's what I'm saying in my head. I'm like, you really have no idea what you're talking. Like,
wait, when did Dragon Age Origins come out?
2009, I think.
I want to say
What?
2008. I want to say 2008.
Well, let's check this.
Nearly 10 years ago.
Is somebody in the hospital?
No, I'm changing the clock on my phone because it's off. It's not calibrated correctly.
Oh, you've got to be kidding. Let's see. Dragon Age Origins. Dude, what the hell?
I love Dragon Age Origins, but I think it was 2008. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but I love Dragon Age Origins. It's a great game. Here, I'll look it up. Dragon Age Origins release date. Because I'm insane like that. Dragon Age Origins release date.
Wait, I can't believe I'm failing on my own search.
No, it was 2009. It was November 3rd, 2009.
Okay.
Yes.
And it came out for PS3, 360, Windows, and Mac. Yeah, and it had an expansion called Awakening, which was basically... Awakening is the closest you're going to get to an actual sequel to Dragon Age, because it used the same engine with... Like, if Dragon Age is a 50, 60-hour game, Awakening is a 30-hour game.
Ah, okay. Actually, I never knew it came out. It came out on Mac as well. Well,
yeah, but no one cares if it came out on Mac. I mean, no one cares.
Not one, maybe very few.
They're not very good gaming machines, Mac computers.
Well, I mean, not just that, but like, you know how Macs were back in the day. If something came out on PC, it was like 2 years before it hit Mac, and by that time, no one cared. It's like, Doom's out on PC. I can't play Doom on my Mac. Doom 3D's out on PC. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait 2 years before it comes out on Mac.
Yeah, that's why they had. That's probably one of the reasons why they had Boot Camp. Remember the Boot Camp software that allowed you to load up Windows on your Mac?
No, I never had a Mac, so I never needed to do that shit. I had a PC, dude.
It kind of defeats the purpose of having a Mac, but whatever.
I never had a Mac. The only reason I know about Macs not getting games for like 2 years until the shit came out, like a game, is that like I got StarCraft for my PC and my friend had a Mac and he was like, I can't get it on my Mac, and it was like the family Mac, so he couldn't put any weird shit on the PC because his dad knew about on the Mac because his dad knew about Macs, and so like he was just shit out of luck to play StarCraft on his Mac. Not StarCraft, it's StarCraft. It was like he couldn't play it on his Mac. I was like, dude, sucks to be you, but I mean, you know. Not to mention, Mac was really expensive even back then. Like PC was way cheaper.
You had to be you were, if you had a Mac at the time, you were a rich kid. You were a spoiled rich kid.
No, your parents got gamed into buying a Mac because like basically PC was way cheaper. And when Dell started that whole you know, buy a PC for a budget price and pay it off as you go. That was the end. That was when Mac lost the PC market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's an argument for you guys. No one ever says that Mac needs to get Apple needs to get out of the hardware market. Whenever the market that they used to dominate, they lose hardware sharing. Like, you know, iPhone sales aren't eclipsing Android phone sales. It's the opposite. And no one ever says you need to stop making hardware. And yet Nintendo, hey, you need to stop making handhelds. You need to stop making consoles. Really? We make money off of this.
But I guess the argument would be like
it is weird.
Like I guess the argument would be like they're outselling every other phone, but together the Android phones are outselling. Of course.
No. Like basically, like okay, like iPhone is not selling as much as it did like when, you know, iPhone 1, 2, 3, 4 came out. And Android phones, like there's like every year a new Android phone comes out. There's different types of Android phones that are out selling the iPhone. And no one ever says, yo, Apple, stop selling iPhones. Because they make money off of it.
They ran out of gimmicks. I mean, there was usually, every iPhone, there was usually this big gimmick. And when you bought it, they just ran out. Steve Jobs died, and there went all the crazy gimmicks.
Isn't that what the other two systems do when they want to get their hype it up to infinity and back?
Yeah, I mean, the operating system, a lot of the advancements of phones seem to be getting a little stale. It's like, oh, we have a more powerful camera now.
Okay.
All right. That's
no, it's
fine.
just like basic shit that isn't on that game. Like they're like, hey guys, guess how much this shit costs? Okay, how much? It costs nothing. It's too expensive. It's like simple shit that should be on the system. Like the Apple finally got a pension zoom. You know,
yeah.
It took them that long?
Yeah, it took until the iPhone 7 for them to get pension zoom, or was it the 6? It was either this one or the last one. I'm like, you finally got pension zoom? And then they were like, we're gonna cut out Google from our map OS. We don't need Google's maps. And then they made their own maps for shit compared to Google.
Oh well, that
was terrible. Yeah.
Like, how the fuck would you?
There's a reason why there's things called standards.
Now you're sounding like somebody else now. But like just for me, I don't okay, if everything else in your house is Apple based, then I understand why you have a Apple computer. But if you don't have like a Apple PC, laptop, stuff like that, I see no reason to own an Apple iPhone over an Android phone. I don't, because Android is more open. You can do more things with it. It's less constricting.
Pick your poison.
It's a more open platform than Apple is. Not to mention Apple shafts people all the time. They're like, hey, if you jailbreak your iPhone, we can't repair it. Which it turns out that's bullshit. They can repair it if you jailbreak it. They just do that because they want you to spend a lot of money on shit because they're assholes.
Yeah, I can't. I was just the iPhone's been out for 10 years. It's gonna be out for 10 years this year because it came out. The first iPhone came out in 2007. It's just like they're not interesting anymore. Like the phones. These phones, all these smartphones just aren't as interesting as they used to be.
Well, I mean, the technology has gotten cheaper. Like back in the day, if you wanted a decent smartphone, like even 5 years ago, if you wanted a decent smartphone, you were going to spend like $300, $400. Now you can get a decent Android phone for like under $100.
Yeah.
It'll get the job done. I mean, it's not going to be, you know, the best of the best, but it'll get the job done. Like I have a Motorola 4G phone. It gets the job done. It gets the job done. It's nothing special, but I can do all the stuff I need to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to free topic. I just thought it was funny to have the whole Dragon Age thing where the guy's just like, it needs to have this, and yet, like, it can't be like Origins, but everything I like, I want it to have, this next game to have, it needs to be like Origins. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. That was the head scratch for me. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I let you brought up those bullet points because now I remember. Wait a minute. I'm having the deja vu. This is exactly what this guy was saying, and it's basically jumbled up.
But anyway. So free topic, have at it. That's number 5. It's free topic.
Okay. Okay. So no one else. I'll bring something up. Now I think that all of us know that what's recently been happening that we've been having an amount of those NES Classic Minis popping up from certain stores, and I'm like, wait a minute, aren't those classics actually discontinued since the beginning of this year, and only now we're seeing them popping out, at least from an Amazon truck, seeing GameStop having it there, like
That's low.
Obviously, someone was stockpiling them. But hey, they're selling them at $60, so I can't get mad. That's how much they cost anyway. So.
Yeah, but then again, they probably up the price or add something to make it seem like it's quote unquote worth.
No, Amazon was selling them for $60. Now GameStop, when they had some in stock, they were selling them as a bundle for like $140, which is some bullshit. But that's GameStop. Look, GameStop is full of shit. Let's just why lie? They're full of shit company.
And here's what I have a problem with when I've been looking at some YouTube was actually talking about this, at least at least some of the well-knowns, and they really, or at least this one that I've seen, didn't think much of it, and even praises for GameStop or ThinkGeek that they were doing bundles with it. I'm like, are you freaking serious?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this, but GameStop, there's a reason I call GameStop the devil. I mean, you can't trust a deal with the devil. That's how I feel about GameStop. When GameStop does, I'm like, oh, the devil must want something, because I mean, they're very devilish, if you will.
Yeah. When I saw RGT85 was actually talking about this. Now, in his own research with some in his circles, he really can't blame the retailers or Nintendo. Hey. So he said it's mostly they're coming from the middleman. But even with that, he's like he can't pinpoint or actually argue that it is the middleman, but the point of direction is coming from them.
I mean, clearly someone was holding back some stock, okay? And I mean, it sucks, but what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
Say hell no, I won't go.
Well, I mean, if you really want, like, here's why the NES minis or classics don't really, and why even the SNES really doesn't. Like, I have all these games physically. Like,
Okay.
Well, not Star Fox 2.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Well, I have a repro card of Star Fox 2.
Well, actually not official, so
No, I physically have a repro card of Star Fox 2.
No, hold on. I said I used the keyword official. So that's
no, there's no official card. They never released it physically. Even now, it's not being released physically. I mean, it's a ROM on a thing, but it's not physical.
Well, hold on, Red. This is what I'm saying. It's not a cart, but it's the closest thing you can get that's officially sanctioned by Nintendo.
Well, I mean, that's true, but I mean, like I said, if you really want to play the game, I mean, it's not like, you know, people are acting like, you know.
Oh, and also, by the way, like you said, gamers such as yourself actually did have the chance to get the original consoles and the games from back then, which is I am sitting on the other side. So I am the target audience here, but I digress.
Well, like I said, I mean, if you never had that stuff, that's your thing. I mean, you know, like, you know, I mean, like, that's the thing. A lot of the things Nintendo re-releases, I already have, so it's like, people are like, you gonna get this? I already have that shit, man.
And completely understandable.
But for people who don't have it, God bless you. I'm glad Nintendo is giving people a chance to get this shit, this mini console, you know?
Yeah, and I'm not so blessed. Twice.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems very scummy that they held back consoles. Oh, we're gonna hold back these consoles. So, I just think it's terrible.
Personally, I think every site should have a one sale per person. Like, you can only buy one, and that's it. You can't. Yeah. This would really stop the resellers, or at least hamper their stuff.
Too bad that.
Then you have the people saying that arguing. They would argue, well, these people don't really want my money now, do they? If they're only selling one to a customer, I'm willing to buy the entire stock.
Well, that makes no sense because that makes no sense because clearly, I mean,
yeah, I hate when these people buy. I hate scalpers. They ruin everybody's fun. That's what they do. They're joy killers.
Yeah. But you were gonna say something, Jewel?
Yeah.
I would say that sadly that's the nature of life we're living in, especially when it comes to some people are likely to do, like when one business is an engine that they don't have, that they don't own in order to run to, it probably would be easier for them to polish and really own.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what's always kind of angered me a little bit about, because no one ever talks about it. They never, hey, man, this isn't cool. But, it is what it is.
Oh, also, there was a comment that I've seen that says Nintendo shouldn't have this kind of a problem with the NES or the SNES Classic Mini just because they just have to stick a ROM in that thing. And I'm like, you know what? That is half true. But then they still have to find that ground material to actually put the ROM inside the thing in the first place.
Well, they also can't, even if they had all the materials in the world to make these things, they can't they can't just flood the entire market with these things. I mean, they have to find some kind of happy medium. And you can't just.
Yeah, you know what they could do that would be a real happy medium? And I'm just gonna say it right now: virtual console. There you go, folks.
But
look,
people don't
Star
want to
Fox
play
2
something digitally.
Virtual console. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hear it right now.
I still have
But
my.
they don't want to buy it digitally.
Let's go out there in the cold. Go out there and freeze your ass off and
Yeah,
get yourself as much money.
Yeah, I'm in those camp, not buying things, mostly not buying things digitally. But hey, you don't see me complain.
Look, man, we live in a world where there's modernity, and not everyone can get their hands on the actual physical hardware. Or if they have, like I said, I have this original shit, but I don't want to connect 8 different consoles to one TV. That's too many wires. That's a fire hazard, man. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you could just go and download your 10, 15, 20 games on a hard drive and just play them like that? At least
and they look better because they, Nintendo cleans them up to fit on an HD TV a little better.
But that's just me.
Actually putting it. Actually just hooking up your old system, and the image getting stretched to hell and looking terrible.
I don't know, man. I could be wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that people get way too caught up on this shit. You know what I mean? They man, look, I'm gonna tell you, okay. I'm saying this as someone who collects, who look, listen, okay. Let me list this shit out for you guys, okay. I have SNES, NES, N64, GameCube, the Japanese versions of all of those. So that's 8 consoles right there. That's just Nintendo. Wii U.
Dang.
I don't have a Japanese Wii U. Wii U, Switch. So that's 10. Okay, that's 10 Nintendo consoles. Then I have PS1, PS2, PS3. I do not have a PS4 because fuck the PS4. I have a PS Vita TV, so that's 4 Sony consoles. I have Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, Sega CD. I do not have a 32X because fuck the 32X. I have a Dreamcast, so that's 4 Sega consoles. I have TurboGrafx 16, TurboGrafx. I have the PC Engine Duo, which is the TurboGrafx 16 and the TurboGrafx CD. I have the PC Engine 32X, which is their basically it's their 32-bit PC engine, and I also have the PC Engine PC, which is actually like a gaming PC of its time, but also a console. It's weird. PC Engine was weird, so that's 3. No, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 consoles. So right now we're at 10 Nintendo consoles, 4 Sony consoles, so that's 14. 4 Sega consoles, 18.
Yeah,
22. Okay, and that's just the console. I will never own an Xbox console because fuck Microsoft. But then don't get me started with the handhelds. I've got 3 Game Boys, 1 Japanese. I have just normal Game Boys. I have 4 Game Boy Colors. I have 2 Game Boy Advances. I have.
Are Game Boys region locked?
No, but I have multiple ones because they were on sale at the time, and I like the Game Boy Advance. It's a great console. It's a great handheld. And the Game Boy, look, you can never have too many Game Boys. I mean, if someone broke in my house, I could kill them with a Game Boy. It'd be great. What's the murder weapon? You'll never find the Game Boy. I could throw it in the garbage disposal. It'd still be playable after I smashed it. Game Boy is tough. So that's 3 Game Boys. That's three original Game Boys, 3 Game Boy Colors. That's 6 Game Boys. 3 Game Boy Advances. That's 9 Game Boy systems. I have a Sega Game Gear, Sega Nomad. That's 2 Sega handhelds. So that's 11 in total.
Dang.
I have a Hudson Pocket player, which is a TurboGrafx Pocket. So that's 12. Yeah, that's 10. Then I have see on top of that. I have 2 Neo Geos, a Neo Geo Pocket and a Neo Geo Pocket Color. Oh shit, I forgot. I have a Neo Geo CD. So that's 23 consoles. I do not have. Oh shit, I forgot the Atari 2600 and the 7800.
That's 24 consoles actually.
That's 20. No, now that's 25.
Oh.
Because the Neo Geo CD is also another console. So that's 23. It went from 20. Right. So basically, like, here's the thing. When people say, I want the physical thing, look, I've been through that. That's too much shit to hook up to a TV. Okay? And look, most of these consoles are standard definition. They look like garbage even with an up converter. So you need a CRT TV. Okay? So
yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. Like, the virtual console would be a lot better because, Nintendo does a pretty good job of cleaning up the images of the SNES games or the NES games to make them fit on a TV, and not to mention just run a lot.
So here's all I'm saying.
That even, I noticed that some of the games actually, they run it even a bit smoother than they did on the original consoles. Like Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, they cleaned up some of the fire effects in that game. So.
And it's still a damn good game. My point behind all this is just to simply say this, okay? For you people who are always arguing, I want the physical. Look, listen, that's great, but you know what? Look, for someone who's tired of having all that damn clutter in my man cave, thank God for the Virtual Console. Nintendo, bring it back.
At least give us options to buy digitally.
Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, that's just, there's too much shit. Just
there's too much to hold.
Well, I guess with me, that's the reason why I keep my stash at a minimum.
I mean, and here's the thing. Once, like, I already had my testing day where basically, you know what that is. You know what your stash testing is, right? Your stash testing is where you basically go and you get your systems and you test them out to see that everything works. Plugging stuff in and stuff like that. And here's the thing, like I said, in combination, I have more non-Nintendo consoles than I do Nintendo consoles. So the next time someone pops up and says, "You Nintendo fanboy," then why is it that I have so many consoles that outnumber my Nintendo consoles? Shut the fuck up. I'm not a Nintendo fanboy. I just like Nintendo consoles because they, like, as a retro collector, my Nintendo shit is solid. I've never had to take any of my Nintendo shit to the store.
Well, I'm the outlier here because I only have Nintendo consoles. So, yeah, you guys can call me that. And you know what? It wouldn't hurt me because it's true.
But I'm just saying, people like, "You Nintendo fanboy." I've never...
Fans, yeah. We may be Nintendo fans, but we know quality when we see it.
Yeah, and people are like, "What do you mean Nintendo has quality?" It means that...
stuff breaks or is broken off to the point that
my Nintendo shit works for years after I've had it, whereas your shit may or may not work for years after you've had it.
Yeah, the PS4, I ain't gonna work for years.
If you're lucky.
No. I don't.
Have
I don't
you
see
ever
it
picked
happening.
up or have you ever handled a PS4? That thing feels pretty fragile.
I played through Final Fantasy 15 on a PS4, and I was like, this thing doesn't feel as solid as my PS3, but that's just me. I could be wrong. You know.
Sounds like a Boeing 747 taking off.
You know.
Sounds bad for 360 though. At least it lasts longer than a year before it breaks. You know.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So anyone else has a topic?
Anything. This is free topic. Go for it.
I did mention
Oh yeah,
that.
go ahead.
I was saying I did mention the idea of how come some Square Enix is having Unreal Engine 3 for two of their, when they basically screwed themselves over with making an engine that nobody else could really use.
Yeah, I remember. I saw that guy's argument in his little video, and I was like, I smelt the bullshit from a mile away, but I waded through it in order to watch the whole video. And here's all I have to say. Kingdom Hearts, the original Kingdom Hearts came out, I'm going to look it up because I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan. 2001.
Yeah,
okay, it came out 2001. Okay, so 16 years ago. All right. And then Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, what, 2 years later? 3 years later?
2005.
It came out,
so 4 years later.
5 years later.
So it came out 4 years later. All right. Both of those games use the same engine. We can because a lot of the same assets were used, all that stuff. Okay. So and then in the PS3 generation, we had no new mainline Kingdom Hearts games, but they did do the HD remasters for the PS3. 1.5 and 2.5. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So presumably that was when they switched from the engines because they had to HDify them. So they switched to like their own homebrew engine to, Unreal 3. Here's my question. If you're going to, if you already have the assets to re-release this game's engine and stuff into 1.5 and 2.5, wouldn't it have made sense to start on 3 using the same engine since it's already, you're familiar with that engine for 3 on the PS3?
Yeah, the stuff, the assets from that game on Unreal Engine 4, they don't look right. The thing about me, I think the only really good-looking thing I've seen was the Toy Story stuff, but everything else just looked kind of off. Like I remember seeing Hades from Hercules, and he just didn't look right. Like they showed him in one of the clips in one of the trailers. Just like,
I'm just saying.
It's kind of bland too.
I'm just saying it would have made more sense just to,
But then here's the thing. But here's the thing I don't get. The person that said that in the video that an engine. An engine from an outside source is better than the one that you built. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Isn't it the purpose that you built your own engine so it's actually easier for yourself to work? I mean,
yeah, his arguments were kind of how can I put this?
Imbecile.
Who
bullshit. They were bullshit. I don't know who it was, but it was some bullshit. Here, I got the. I think I put a link in the description field for the video, or maybe no. I know what I did.
Because that's the thing. Going by that logic, that means what Square Enix was doing, they were basically hurting themselves from the get-go.
Yeah, like the argument, the reason why his argument doesn't make any sense is because, okay, fair enough, it took them a long time to switch engines, but it's been 15 fucking years. I mean, 16 years at this point. I mean, they were okay, and clearly that they weren't fiddling around with that engine for 15 years because they did the HD remasters, which means they switched to another engine, which means they already had it down on how to work with that engine. And technically speaking, Kingdom Hearts 3 should have came out on the PS2 because that's what Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 came out on.
Yeah. It should have.
And if it couldn't come out on the PS2, then it should have came out on the PS3 because 2.5 and 1.5 came out on the PS3.
No, the thing is, Tetsuya Nomura was working. He was, they had him on like several different projects at once.
Yeah, he was working on that awesome 13. Yeah, because 13 really. 13
series and what else? Versus, which turned into 15.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about how shitty all this stuff is. But my point is that the counter argument that people keep on making about about Kingdom Hearts 3. And then people have the nerve to say, oh, it should come to the Switch. It took them 16 fucking years to put it on the PS4. I mean, shit.
I was about to say.
I don't think it'll ever make it to the Switch.
And the worst thing is they're trying to do the same for for 7R.
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about Kingdom Hearts. Here's what I'll say if you can take it seriously. If Square Enix wants Kingdom Hearts to do well, here's what they would do. Here's what they would have done. They would have ported Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 to the Wii U. Or it would be right now, it would be on the Switch. Like right now, they would be announcing, hey, we're putting Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 or 1.9 and 1.8 and 2.8 on the Switch.
They just released that 2.8 with the Kingdom Hearts 2 Dream Drop Distance. I think they had a special mode with Aqua in it or something.
Yeah.
I think they have that cozy relationship with Sony when it comes to the Kingdom Hearts stuff.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not so much cozy. The audience for Kingdom Hearts is on a PlayStation platform. That's just, it started on PlayStation. It's always they kind of gave Nintendo with Dream Drop Distance sloppy seconds with that Game Boy Advance game. But, I mean, generally speaking, it's mostly been on PlayStation platforms. And that's, I mean, look, that's just the way it is. I'm not going to sit there, oh my God. People are like, I really want Kingdom Hearts on the Switch. Okay. Hell, I want a bag of money to fall out the sky and hit me in the face.
They're an outlier there.
I want a bag of money to fall out the sky and land in my front yard in the dark where no one can see and I can take it. But that shit ain't happening either. So, I mean, let's all talk for shit that's probably not going to happen. I want superpowers. I want to be able to turn into a dragon to be invincible and just destroy my enemies and no one could ever stop me. That shit ain't happening either. Okay. I want to have pizza vision. Whatever I look at, whenever I want to, I can wish a pizza into existence and eat it. And it can be whatever I want, but it'll never make me fat or anything like that. Yeah. Anyone have any other wishes they want that'll probably never happen?
I don't know. I want to fly like Superman, but that ain't happening.
Okay. Yeah. I mean.
Now, I'm not going to be very harsh on Square Enix for making that luminous engine, because at that given time there was the PS3, the 360, and the Wii.
Yeah.
And also on top of that, the PlayStation 3 was hard to develop for just because of the components that they got in there.
The architecture.
That's the architecture. The 360, they could have got they could have probably made that luminous engine for the 360. Granted, if they actually built that Luminous engine that they can actually work with very easy, but they wouldn't even have a problem if they developed that on the Wii, because clearly the Wii is like two GameCubes duct taped together, and it was kind of similar of how it was compared to the 360, mind you, not graphics. I don't mean that. I mean the architecture. That's it.
Fair enough.
But then when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and the Wii U came out, you would thought that very same Luminous engine would be much more easy to develop for on those three consoles, because they were basically much easier than the consoles a generation before. But
And whose
you know what?
year was that?
That was me. That was mine. But it's basically a head scratcher, because they couldn't. It wasn't even how they built that Luminous engine. It wasn't even easier on those platforms.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I always thought that they were full of shit anyway, because let's keep it real. The Luminous, like, okay, they built their own engine, congratulations, but they should have been, in building their own engine, they should have been, like, when you build your own engine, you should, like, okay, the Luminous engine was made to make games look gorgeous, but Final Fantasy is an RPG. It's not supposed, like, I mean, none of the Final Fantasies have looked like shit for their time. Whenever they came out, they didn't look like shit, but, I mean, like, they're like, oh, they built their own engine. I guarantee you that Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 use the same fucking engine. They did not build a new engine every time a new Final Fantasy had to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's bullshit. This dude was saying stuff. I'm like, this dude just really is just trying to give Square Enix an out. He's so desperately trying to give them an out. He's like, look, man.
I'm like,
that's why they've been messing up.
And granted, they're third-party developers. I can get that, but even that was kind of screwed the pooch.
So his argument is that the Luminous engine is just too old and they need a new engine? Like, what's his argument exactly?
I don't know, man. Like, it's all bullshit, because, like, Bethesda, whether you like them or not, have been using the same engine since, more or less since Oblivion. Sorry, yeah, Oblivion.
Morrowind?
Well, I mean, Morrowind used an advanced version of Oblivion's engine. They've been basically using the same engine over and over and over again.
Oblivion was the first game, right?
They've been building on that same engine over and over again, is what I'm saying. Like, it's been the same engine. So,
that's
like, I don't know.
Yes, that's a very fair comparison with Square Enix. Go on.
And the fact that people are like, well, Square Enix needs to, they need to, that's why they have to use a common engine. Like, well, that's just because they have shitty developers. I mean, like, and let's keep it real. They did not have these issues making games until Hironobu Sakaguchi left. Okay, because, I mean, can we just agree that Tetsuya Nomura is not the guy who should be really in charge of anything at Square Enix, period, except for Kingdom Hearts, because that's the one thing he hasn't effed up, apparently. I don't know.
Well, people didn't really like Dream Drop Distance. They thought it was kind of story-wise, kind of didn't make sense.
I don't know, man.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and I was like, this is good enough. I'm good.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Yeah. I think I got through Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I played through Dream Drop Distance, which was okay.
And I played that one on the Game Boy Advance. Birth by Sleep. No, Chain of Memories.
Chain of Memories. Yeah, that one was okay, but the whole it's I don't know. There's really no reason to play all these freaking silly games. It really doesn't clear It doesn't really clear that much up.
Yeah, they keep on, but I mean, my point is that they keep on actually like keeping that game vibrant in the PlayStation audience. But I mean, because that's where their main thing is. But they aren't doing that for the Nintendo systems or the Microsoft system. So why should we? Like, I don't understand why people are so like, man, it's got to be here. I'm like, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, by the way, did Square Enix actually move away from the Luminous engine to the Unreal engine, right?
That's what they say. I mean, that's what they said. I don't know if it's true, but that's what they said.
Okay, now keep that in mind, since that the Unreal Engine is basically not about graphics per se, but probably the computation of the whole physics.
I don't know, man. I think they just wanted a cheaper way to make their games, but here's the problem. Square Enix's games have been selling worse and worse with each iteration. But once something like with the way Unreal is making their money is that their engine is free to use, but once it sells over a certain threshold, they get a portion of the money with when a game sells, a certain amount, and it's made using their engine. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't.
Yeah, which that is another problem. And I mean, okay, say that Kingdom Hearts 3 sells gangbusters. What my problem is, I'm hoping the profit that they get back actually amounts something that they can actually keep.
Well, I mean, I think here's what I think. I think it's going to sell well, and I think it's going to sell well on the PS4. It's going to sell well in Japan, because I mean, apparently they like Kingdom Hearts in Japan. It'll sell well here in America because they like Kingdom Hearts here in America. It'll do okay in Europe because Kingdom Hearts has never been that big in Europe, because apparently they're smart enough to realize that a little boy running around hitting people with a key mace is not really all that interesting. That's essentially what it's a key mace. It's not a key blade. It's a key mace. But hitting people with I take that back. But basically, it's not that big in Europe, and so I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever it is, what it is.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. Any other topics anyone wants to bring up? That was Jules. Anything else you want to say, Jules, about that awesome game?
Well, I do hope Kingdom Hearts 3 does well, but I seriously question how these people want it to be done right. Seriously, it's looking like it's trying to add on everything but the kitchen sink. It's going to end up as a Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah,
go ahead.
This game people have been waiting for this game for 11 years. 12, because it's coming out next year. So 12 years.
I was going to say 2 generations.
So, 12 years through 2 consoles. So, I mean, yeah, that's it. That's just all I can really say is.
I have a topic, and that's the whole, whenever people bring up Nintendo's not doing this right, right, they say it's 2017. They don't, for whatever reason, say that about any other company that's, screwing up, bringing out broken games, or ripping off customers. It's like, it's 2017. We shouldn't be coming out broken games. Or 2017, we shouldn't be coming out with half-finished games. I mean, why don't people say that?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a really good question. Why don't people say things like that? Why do they say things like, it's 2017, because in some ways we've moved backwards. It's 2017. I shouldn't have to worry if a game is going to run on my console. But it's not like that anymore, right?
apparently not.
Like now, there are games that are like, if you buy the newest version, like if you bought a Sega Genesis Mark III, you weren't worried if your Sega Genesis Mark III would run your Sega Genesis your Sega Genesis games. But now, if you get a new version, the PS4 Pro may or may not run your games better than the normal PS4.
You know, they were saying
That is sad.
they were saying that same thing about the 3DS and the new Nintendo 3DS when it came to Hyrule Warriors Legends.
Yeah.
But that was the only game, and even that the game still run. It's actually didn't run well enough.
It's just certain certain graphical effects weren't there because, the 3DS XL is slightly more powerful, but I mean that's just the way it is, I mean,
And that's
can't have everything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You would think the PlayStation 4 Pro might have that similar problem, but what I'm hearing about and what I was seeing, it's worse.
Well, I mean, from what I've heard, just like the triple Xbox isn't running well, isn't running some games well. The PS4 Pro isn't running games well. So, I mean, these half upgrades are exactly that. They're half-assed as hell.
And to be honest, and I thought the Wii Mini was bad enough for that. At least not before.
Yeah, but the Wii Mini played Wii games. It just didn't have a lot of the features that your Wii U, that your normal Wii had, because they stripped it down. But I mean, this shit is ridiculous.
And on top of that, the Wii Mini was basically a step backwards, but still, it still played the games.
It played Wii. I mean, the Wii Mini played Wii games. It didn't have the GameCube backwards compatibility. That was pretty much what was missing. But other than that, it was just a Wii. Literally, the Wii Mini should have just been called just a Wii. The original Wii should have been called Wii and GameCube.
That's the ironic part. A step backward, but it still plays those Wii games perfectly.
Well, I mean, it's a mini console, kind of like how PlayStation 3 took out the backwards compatibility with later iterations. So it was just a PS3. I mean, kind of a step backwards, but not really.
No, I meant in comparison to the
features.
Wii, the PlayStation 3. I mean, the PlayStation 4 and the Pro version.
Yeah. I mean, but it's gotten worse. I mean, that's sad, but it's gotten worse.
With the same bloody game.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, but I mean, you're right. There's a lot of things that should be better, Kenoshi. I mean, we should expect better. We should be like, it's 2017. Why are we still playing games that basically, like, why are we playing open world games with the AI as dumb as a brick? Why are
there still a lot of invisible walls in these open world games?
I mean,
why are we have no such thing as AI?
Well, there were games that had better. There were games back in the day that had better, like like there was this game called I forgot the name of it. Something Call of the King, and it was this game about this this guy who basically, like, you could literally get in a spacecraft, fly into space, fly around the planet, land, and that was a PS2 game. That was a damn PS2 game, and yet we don't have games of that caliber now. There is not a game where you can fly around an entire planet, go into space, land on a space station, get back in your ship, fly back down, land on the planet, except for maybe
That's a Star Wars Battlefield on the PS2.
no, that isn't one of them. Maybe No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky sucks. So, like,
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, there isn't a new game that has those types of features. And yet people are like, we need to expect this. Like, why is it that there are no new games that have this level of, like, why haven't we had a massive, it's 2017, why haven't we had a real Chrono Trigger sequel?
Because the people that made it are not all togetherness. Then
I kind of find it awkward, or should I say, ironic that file sizes are getting bigger, but yet
games are getting smaller.
Yeah, it's 2017. Why are the RPGs getting smaller? Like an RPG from 2 gens ago can literally be played for, like, I can play that shit for like 10, 15 hours. I mean, I can put 60, 70 hours in that game. But an RPG from this gen can be beaten in 15 hours. Why haven't first-person shooters gotten more advanced than what? Why is the AI in first-person shooters dumber than the AI that we had in first-person shooters in the 5th gen? What I mean by this is Dark Sims from Perfect Dark were smarter than some of the AI in these on hardest difficulties of these damn first-person shooter games.
Guess what? Because we want everything to go online. Well, that is one. That is one of the reasons.
So, but we'll never talk about that. No one ever answers those questions. So, I mean, I think we've exhausted this topic. Anyone have anything else they want to say before we wrap things up?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think really not a whole lot happened this week.
Sand.
A lot of Splatoon pictures. That's all I've seen is a lot of Splatoon pictures.
There is one thing. Apparently now it's official that the only way you can get hard mode from on Metroid Samus Returns is through an amiibo.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
No, that's probably just like if you have the amiibo, you would lock it immediately, but you have to like beat the game first if you don't have it or something like that.
Okay, well, if that's
the way
the case,
it usually is.
Not to mention, Metroid 2 Return of Samus is like the second hardest Metroid game anyway. Even without all that shit, it's a hard game. It's not easy. So
I don't know. I think the challenge is one of those things that is like really subjective and different from person to person, but people don't act like it is.
Yeah.
Like,
now, before you go any further, I want to mention this. And I'm going to go with that again, afterwards. But a Nintendo rep confirmed from a Nintendo representative said that was the case, as you can only get it through the amiibo.
Well,
Now,
fuck
who
them,
knows?
man.
Yeah, Now, who knows? This could be someone running their mouth before they even knew what they were talking about. But
I'm just saying, if that's the case, then fuck them. That's all I got to say. That's because that's some bullshit right there.
yeah. Now, speaking
Um,
about the subjectivity of difficulty, I've noticed that the people that are actually very, and I mean very pissed about this is the vocal minority. So it kind of in a way, when you look at the grand scheme of things, it kind of negates this whole thing. But you can probably say that this kind of practice wasn't been done before generations ago, because you got hard mode after beating the game.
Not on Metroid Prime, Samus, not on Metroid 2 Return of Samus. Metroid 2 Return of Samus, the difficulty was in if you wanted to get the best ending, you had to beat it as quickly as humanly possible. So if you beat it under 30 minutes, you got the awesome ending with Samus in her unitard, with her outfit, with her power suit off, saying, "You did a good job, yeah, you beat." that was the, because I mean the game's difficulty was towards the end was just how tough the Metroids were, and the final battle against the Metroid Queen was a bitch, because like the only way to really defeat her quickly was
let it eat you.
Well, there was this, if you hit her in the mouth, like there was a special spot in her mouth that if you hit it dead on with a missile, it would freeze her, and you could spam missiles. But hitting her in just that right spot was really tough, and that was the difficulty. Like that was the toughest thing about the damn game, really.
Yeah. So like you said, that's a caveat for the whole pissing contest, because it was a mode like this was not in the first game. So in a way, Nintendo kind of did have a leeway of putting that behind the amiibo paywall. Now, if it was something like a franchise that actually did have something like that since the very beginning or early on, okay, then you have a reason to be pissed about this. Not saying you can't pissed, but
I just think the idea of locking things that should be unlockable through gameplay, and this isn't like Amiibo where there's like, hey, this outfit that kind of sucks, you can unlock. That's not cool to me. God damn, someone's sawing some logs. And with that, let's bid good night, because we've been here for too long. When people are falling asleep, we know it's time. So who wants to go first?
Well, go ahead, Kenoshi.
No, man, he was snoring.
He
lost.
I'll go.
Yeah, you go first.
Say
Go.
that somebody must have slipped some orange juice into my drink, since I almost fell asleep, or I did fall asleep. So don't drink orange juice if you want to stay awake. Especially if it comes from California. Good night, everyone.
All right. Who's next? Go, Triple M. You go. It's your turn.
All righty. Well, I really appreciate them to be in this podcast, although I was a tad late. Apologies for all of that. But yeah, hope you wonderful viewers actually enjoyed this show. So yeah, this is Triple M, the Lone Wolf, and Fondness for Games, that forms into a fireball and also pops out my artworks. Not lately. But yes, I'll see you guys next time.
This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. It's been a while, but it's always good to have people here. We talk about video games, life, love. Well, actually, we just talk about video games and the bullshit that happens in this industry that people just tend to ignore for some reason instead of talking about it. So with that being said, if you see bullshit in the industry...
Wonder Dean, are you still here?
No.
Damn. I was gonna... He's not here. Okay, Wonder Dean, you give your sign off.
Okay. It's Wonder Dean, I guess. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful week. That's
Don't fall for the bullshit. There you go. This is Mr. Red Fox once again. Don't fall. In all equivalents, just don't fall for bullshit. If someone tells you something, really think about it. Don't just go with it. You know, think how these people are a company. How are they making money? What are they doing? What is important? You know, how are they making money off of this?
Why are they doing?
Why are they doing this? Okay, and if it doesn't jive with them trying to make money, there's some bullshit afoot. So with that being said, keep on keeping on. Enjoy your life. Play good games. Support the people who make good games. Don't support the people who make shit. And that's it. And I'm gonna steal this from Shadow Fox. Do you play Nintendo? Do you play games for fun or to impress other people? Joel, you have something to say? We're signing out.
I thought it was her. I was muted.
No, you were sleeping, but go ahead. You're snoring. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. And this is your Eli Moonstar, the Rainbow Mage. Being quiet, I was in between boredom and wake, so sorry there.
You're only human. Okay, then. So that's the end of our cast. Good night. Stay tuned next week where we talk about, are we really looking forward to some of the games come out in August and whatever bullshit will come up this week, because there's always bullshit. Good night.
Well, platoon update. Oh, okay.